This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium training session. This Infinium training session is entitled Women Can See You, Oh Yes They Can. Now my MGTOW brothers, in their ongoing efforts to get us entrapped into their Venus flytraps, in their ongoing efforts to get us ultimately trapped in the slave pits of the feminist plantation state, I have decided to even further delve into the woman's ability to read and scan men. And this delving into involves basically the ability of a woman to read and scan men from behind. It is not all women, but I have discovered that some women can actually do this. They can actually scan a man from behind, and if they are interested in them, or if they cannot read them from behind, they will if they are not interested, they will walk away, or if they are interested or cannot read a man from behind, they will position themselves in front of that man so they can try to read him from in front of him. Now, again, from my research and my understanding of things, it appears that white women or Caucasian women can more effectively scan men. They are capable of doing more intensive and deep scans of men. Whereas women of other races, and again, it goes in a order of like maybe Asian races are secondary to Caucasian races, and the more like black women, African American women, that type of thing, they are like the lowest on the list in terms of their scanning capabilities. But again, it appears that, or it is so that women can at least do a partial scan and read of a man from behind him. Now, what happens when this occurs to my MGTOW brothers? For instance, if it occurs with a white woman, what she will do is she will come from directly behind you and attempt to read you. And again, if she is interested in you or she's having trouble scanning you from behind, she will then position herself in front of you. She will do something to get your attention, to cause you to look in her face so she can look in your face and try to read you from in front. Now, with black women, what happens typically, they will come from behind, and then they will kind of move off to your side to like just out of your periphery and try to reach you from behind. And given that, again, black women have more difficulty scanning men, they will eventually say something to you or do something to get your attention, to get you to look at them, and to, again, allow them to try to read you from in front. Now, the problems come when particularly these women are having trouble reading men from behind. You will see bizarre behavior. For instance, you will find yourself being followed around in stores. You will find yourself in odd types of conversations with them. They will try to start conflicts. They will do everything to you, anything from stalking to just bizarre behavior. And this bizarre behavior is primarily because of, again, if you are a hard to read man, they are essentially butthurt. They are so butthurt that it really, I guess you would say, screws up their mentalities. It causes women to be frustrated and flustered in what they're trying to do to you, my MGTOW brothers. I'll give you two examples of what has happened to me in the past um, in terms of women trying to read me from behind. In the first example, I was working in one job doing my logistics thing, and I was in a store, and I was setting up some items on a shelf. And as I have described before, I can sense when women are trying to scan and read me. I felt a pulse coming from behind me. Again, I cannot explain fully how it happens to me, but I felt this pulse, turned around, and there was a pregnant white woman approaching me from behind. She was about halfway down the store, halfway down in the store when she was doing this. I turned around and began to just do my work again, and I felt the pulse again. And sure enough, she was there again from behind me. She had gotten up on me, and she was scanning me and reading me, pulsing me, that type of thing. And so, me being the gentleman that I was, I assumed that she was trying to look at the items on the shelf. So I moved aside. I stopped what I was doing and went to another area and just allowed her to kind of look at what she was looking at, what I thought she was looking at. She then moves behind me again, starts reading me and scanning me again. So I moved aside again. This happened like 3 times. Then she gets flustered, goes around the other side of the aisle where I'm at, and says, "I'm rude." And then she begins to walk away, and I confronted her. I said, "Well, what did I do to you, to cause you to say that I'm rude?" "Well, you should have said, that's okay. You should have said something to me." And I'm like, "Well, I was being nice to you. I was moving aside. I didn't say anything to her. I thought she was trying to look at what was on the shelf. And so that's why I didn't say anything. I was just minding my business. And again, you're rude. You should have said something to me." But again, my MGTOW brothers, she became flustered and upset because she was butthurt because her scans and her attempts to read me failed. And she could not read me. And that's what butthurt her. It wasn't because I was rude. It was because of her inability to scan me. And the other thing, my MGTOW brothers, why would a pregnant woman be scanning me and reading me in the first place? That is totally despicable, my MGTOW brothers. Her attentions and her direction should be on her unborn child, her mate, not scanning and reading a man in the store for the purposes, I guess, of hypergamy or purposes of I don't know what. But that should not have happened in the first place, my MGTOW brothers. But again, that's one example. Second example is in one of my former jobs, I happened to have to work all over the store, and I was at this point working in the electronics department of a store, and there was a ditzy broad that was there, that a black woman who was always trying to read me and scan me, and so that's why I kind of hated to work in that department because again I had to work all over the store where I was at. But what she would do was to try to get in front of me, read me and scan me, and try to get in back of me, reading me and scan me. And all these times I could feel her when she was doing it. But one day she became so flustered because she was trying to read me from behind that she actually shouted, "I cannot read you. Why can I not read you?" And I just turned around and looked at her and then looked back at the customer I was trying to help her. Who I was trying to help, I should say. But see, my MGTOW brothers, again, this is going on. This type of thing is going on. And again, you must understand, my MGTOW brothers, that women have these capabilities. Some women have these capabilities. And particularly if you're like me, who you are sensitive to the scanning and reading that women are doing, and you're finding that you're coming home tired after being in public, you're coming home kind of exasperated or kind of irritated. That's what's going on with you, my MGTOW brothers. You are dealing with something that's kind of wearing upon you, because I know what it does to me. It does wear me out. It does kind of put me in in a sense of exasperation, of uneasiness. Because again, as I described in prior videos, it's like being like a labyrinth, being pulsed with energies, being shot with electronic energies, and having to endure all of that. But my MGTOW brothers, again, that is why I do what I do, because you must understand that women are doing these things to men. And you must understand as a tactical uh, point, this is what they're doing. I believe the ability of a woman to read and scan men was actually a beautiful gift to them. I think it was part of a capability to allow women to better sense their mates, to better help them out when they're dealing with difficulties and dealing with things, to better address their needs, and allow then for the man to then address her needs. I believe was a beautiful gift that women have now weaponized and are using against men. Just like when when a woman bears children for a man, and then because of her desire to rape him in terms of divorce court, she then takes those children and weaponizes them against him in order to get as much as she can from the man. So again, the ability to just overall, the ability for women to scan and read men was once, I believe, a beautiful gift that they have as a part of their nurturing capabilities that they could use to help men, and therefore allow men to further help them. But again, these things have been weaponized, they have been abused, and now we're in a state that they are using these things to scan us, to read us, to find ways to get us entrapped into their Venus flytraps. So again, my mentor brothers, be aware of these things. Be aware of what women are doing to you. Keep your eyes open and consider the things that they are doing to you. Because again, my MGTOW brothers, you don't deserve these things. You deserve the freedom and the liberation that the MGTOW philosophy gives to you. This has been the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium training session. Now more than ever, my MGTOW brothers, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.